Mmm. It's so not exciting, but I love Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
It's like it's a comfort food.
It's a comfort food. Not matzo ball soup, but it's something.
Good morning, Jew.
Good morning, Jew. How are you?
I'm good. I had to think about it.
Really?
Good. Well, I want it to be a considered feeling.
Right. You drew from the rabbinical tradition. Template.
I like to give you a meaningful response.
I'm Katie Halper, single in New York City.
And I'm Heather Gold, living with my girlfriend in Oakland. You now get to play the field.
It's true.
Can you believe it? We want to see hashtag MJYenta.
MJYenta. Shidduch?
MJYenta.
Shidduch, is that the...
A shidduch is a match.
Is the match, okay. The yenta is the person who makes it.
Here's the deal. If we have a shidduch because of your yentaing, we're going to give you a prize.
Yes.
I don't know yet. We're going to come up with a pretty good prize for you.
We will jump out of a challah.
We will for sure have you on the show.
Oh my God.
At a minimum.
At a minimum, that's the least of it, yeah.
Like a hookup is not a shidduch.
No.
We will be great. We'll award those two in other interesting ways.
Hookup,
this is a Jewish breakup. Listen.
I jumped back on the camel. Right back on the camel.
One of the things Jews have, one of our advantages, we don't have a Madonna horror complex.
No, we don't.
Crap. You guys can take care of that. Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
This week, again, thank God for small favors. We really get to focus in.
Katie has a phrase she likes to use.
Yes.
PEP.
So PEP is Progressive Except on Palestine. And I got it into the Washington Post by performing a joke that used the term. And Mundo Weiss cited it. It was kind of cool. They made it seem like this big deal, like I had broken the something barrier. But I hadn't. I just used it in a show.
She's by far not the first Jew to criticize Israel.
Oh, no, not at all. And I didn't come up with the term PEP.
Where did you learn this phrase, PEP?
Max Blumenthal took credit for teaching it to me, but he hadn't. I think my friend Amelia may have taught it to me. And it basically describes people who they're liberal about everything, absolutely everything, except when it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, all of a sudden they're very hawkish. And something else weird happens. These people who have real political commitments and align, with the left in American and most international politics, somehow when it comes to Israel, it doesn't matter if it's Likud or Labor, political parties and ideologies and orientations no longer matter. Like, here's how you know that someone's a PEP. You say something, right? And then they say, the United States would do the same thing if X, Y, Z happened. They'd defend themselves, they'd retaliate, and you say, right, and if we're the United States, I would see you at a rally against it. I prefer arguing with Israeli Hazais, hawkish Zionists. They're honest about it. They're like, yes, it's terrorism and we should do more of it and get rid of them, Whereas here, if you talk to someone, they're like, well, the Palestinians left in 1948 of their own accord. Like, they wanted to go.
That's not every American Jew, but there are some who say
I'm
that.
talking about among the Hazai. Hawkish Zionists, which we got PEP and Hazai. Wow, that's great. How about them apples?
I just wish it could sound a little more like Chazarai.
We didn't force them. They wanted to go.
Even worse is there's no such thing as a Palestinian people.
Right. That's what we were for a really long time before Israel.
That's the thing that's always so cuckoo about this thing. You're basically criticizing Palestinian people in the same way we were, so you should wake up.
Why is it that an American Jew who's never been exposed to rockets, who's from Brooklyn or Boston, they can't see Palestinians as human beings. They can't see any critique of Israel as legitimate or founded in reality. But you have Holocaust survivors living in Israel. They're able to see live, Israeli Jew on Israeli government criticism, and they're able to criticize their government. But it's the Americans here who've never experienced it. Some Americans have experienced anti-Semitism, but I'm talking about kids I went to high school with. We did not experience anti-Semitism.
Go into Twitter and you will see incredibly intense anti-Semitism, and you'll see some of it from the left. And it's mostly a bummer to me to see it from the left because I get that it feels that you want to do the criticize. It's like there's so much to criticize. Why do you have to? And why do you have to use, and they end up using bloodthirsty. From what I've seen the last couple of years, there's a lot of progressive except for Jews. It made me think about PEJ. The thing that makes the whole thing complicated to me, beyond just being Jewish and making everything complicated,
how we roll,
is that anti-Semitism, which I've been like a fan, I've mostly been like, God, we've had too much of it. No, I'm not a huge fan of all the constantly having it brought up. I grew up with the generation above me calling it out constantly.
To it, yeah.
Oh, someone wrote something on a desk in a school in Saskatoon and raise a geschrei and make it a huge moment. Like, I'm not a fan of that kind of over complaining and seeing it everywhere and seeing it constantly. As much as I tend to resist this kind of rhetoric from people who are older than me in very institutional Jewish worlds, there is very intense real anti-Semitism, especially in Europe. A bunch of Jews had to barricade themselves into a synagogue in Paris because they were attacked during an anti-Israel rally. Yeah. The linking of Jews to Israel everywhere, the idea that every Jew and Netanyahu's policies are all the same, that we all want the same thing. There's an assumption that we have this global network of control. We're all just at someone's bar mitzvah together and we're going to be like, Netanyahu, I'm not giving you any chopped liver. You're not coming to the next bar mitzvah if you do not stop. Yeah. Like, no second helpings for you, Bibi.
Yeah. You know, like if you want to get invited to my younger daughter's bar mitzvah, you're going to have to really change your behavior. It's unacceptable.
We can wait. Yeah. I'm waiting.
Like, when I hear people questioning or denying the Holocaust in order to further their anti-Zionism, I'm like, do you not get it? You're not doing Palestinian people a favor.
Even worse, you're playing into
their whole justification.
A whole historic, I mean, I think there's so much lack of awareness about historical anti-Semitism.
We have to do a PSA. I'm the Israeli government, okay? Right now, pretend I'm Israel.
Ooh.
Me, Katie.
Oh, I'm scared of you.
Please keep being anti-Semitic, because that way we get to discredit all valid criticism of Israel as being anti-Semitic. And Holocaust denial, we especially appreciate. I do feel like there's a phenomenon with the defenders of Israel and with the U.S. government where it's kind of like a father who's fucking up his kid. He's like enabling his kid. He thinks he's helping it, but he's not setting down any limits. Other kids see the special treatment that this father's giving his kid, and then they resent the kid, and because they have issues with the dad because he's kind of a bully and a dick. And also, it's like, you know, the parent who thinks they're helping their kid, but they're screwing the kid up because the kid doesn't know how to, like, get along with others. It's not comfortable to talk about Israel. Like, people walk on eggshells around the issue.
That is a true statement. The thing is, it's such a goddamn mess.
It's such a mess. It's like the Middle East.
It's just like the Holocaust. You know what? It's like itself.
Yeah.
It's like itself. I kind of like Fran Leibowiz's line about like genocides being like snowflakes, you know, with Holocaust comparisons, no two are alike. Like, why can't every horrific situation have its own horrific description?
Do you think that Israel, what it should have done is made like refuge landia, or like persecuted people landia, and then they would have had like a bunch of persecuted people sharing. They'd have each other's backs. It wouldn't be.
They could all be in PTSD together.
They could share PTSD. They could have drumming circles and psychiatric circles, and then they wouldn't be.
They could all take ecstasy together.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I feel like we've vented a lot.
You know, it's not funny, unfortunately.
We'll put in some like an Israeli slipping on a banana, and then a Palestinian slipping on a banana, and that'll be funny.
It will be called anti-Arab if we have a Palestinian slipping on a banana. I think, yeah, we're going to have to be dealing with this conflict. So what's the way to brighten it?
Jokes. At the expense of Europeans. Anti-European. This is what can bring us together. Anti-European.
It's true. They started it in the first place.
Yeah, let's join forces and fuck up the French and the Germans and the British. I think we just solved the whole conflict in the Middle East.
Yeah, who got us there in the first place? Where do you think we came from?
Yeah, for reals.
Yeah.
Thanks, Europe. I feel a lot better. Much more upbeat. All right, I will see you next week.
I'll see you later.
See you later.
Time.
The Holocaust, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the Shoah.
I'm exhausted.
I know.
I hate this.
Lipstick tastes weird.
Who's eating lipstick?
This has to go in the outtakes.